Today I'm going to show you how I've been able to send 500 DMs a day for my SMMA on autopilot, literally without sending any DMs myself. Look, the reason I think it's imperative you know this information is because the number one reason why people don't see results with their SMMA is not because of their offer. It's not because of their lack of results or lack of experience. It's because of their lack of volume of outreach. Look, if you're sending 50 messages a day and I'm sending 500, even if I have a worse script, a worse offer, and less experience, less case studies, less results, I will still win. Now look, right now there's a lot of people on YouTube saying that cold outreach doesn't work for SMMA, and that is just blatantly wrong. Those people are lying to you because they want you to buy what they're selling, which is probably some program on how to build a personal brand or a new golden shiny system of how to grow your SMMA or consulting or coaching business. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Outreach still works, because if students of mine can book 7 calls in a day like Christopher, as you can see here, using an appointment setter I placed in his business where he didn't send any DMs himself, or Megan, who just brought in this client for over £1,000, again from an appointment setter we placed in her business, if they can do that, that's your proof outreach still works. So I'm going to switch over to the Remarkable here in a second. I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how you can send 500 DMs a day, and how when I was sending 500 DMs a day, we were sending anywhere from 5 to 8 clients every single day. All right, so my Remarkable, it's not working. We're going to do this on a Google Doc. All right, your goal is to send 500 DMs a day. We're going to look at Instagram for this example. Why Instagram? It's probably the best platform for cold outreach. Now, you can't send 500 DMs a day on one Instagram account. You're going to need roughly 10 accounts to do this. The reason why is this. If you send 500 DMs on an Instagram account, you'll probably get banned. From doing this for years, the upper limit we've seen on accounts is around 40 to 50 DMs a day. Now, this is assuming you're doing cold DMs, which means you're messaging somebody that doesn't follow you, you've never had a conversation with before. It's different if you're messaging people that follow you, but we're not going to look at that. All right, so we're going to do 50 DMs per day per account. So now you're thinking, you only have one Instagram account. How are you going to get 10? Well, you have a few options, okay? So option 1 is create backup accounts. Like literally, you're going to create whatever your username is, create a second account, Adam Walsh 2. You're going to post some photos, follow a few hundred people over the course of 3, 4, 5 days. And within a week, that account should be ready to go. You can have as many of these as you want. So there's people in my program that have 5 of these. Number 2 is to buy an Instagram account. Now, I'm not recommending this, just saying this is an option. Now, you could buy a theme page. This is quite common. For example, for me, I ran an agency working with health and fitness coaches and supplement companies. So we had quite a few theme pages that were in, guess what, the health and fitness space. So if you know what industry you're going to work with and you know your niche, then buying a theme page might make sense. But if you're just starting and you don't really know what niche you're going to be in, if you're going to buy a theme page, you want to do a swap. All right, so buy it and then switch it to your personal profile after that. AKA just like change the name, change the username, remove the content, post new content, good to go. Those are really your main 2 routes. You can do that yourself, or if you're working with an appointment setter or a VA, you could have them do it. All right, you could have them set up the accounts. It's up to you. Now, if you're not yet convinced this is going to work, let's just run through an example. So let's look at first example 1, which is you're sending 50 DMs a day. We're now going to look at those numbers over 1 week. 50 a day times 7, 350 a week. Now we need to calculate your average response rate. It's going to depend on how your account looks. If people think your account looks legit, if people think you're selling something, if people think you're genuinely asking a question in the DMs, we're just going to go with a safe number, 20%. I have students with 20% response rates, absolutely crushing it, getting tons of clients every month. And I have students that have like 40, 50% response rates. I don't want you to get too focused on this right now. We're not looking at how to have the best script in the world. We're looking at how to get volume. Because as I mentioned, even with a pretty shitty script, if you have volume, you're set. Out of 350, we got 70 responses. Now, then your ability to take somebody who responded into a booked call, again, is going to fluctuate. But we're just going to go with 20%. Now, this is not a 20% booking rate off of every message you send. This is a 20% booking rate off of the people that have already responded. So out of the 70 people, 20% of that is 14. Now, that's a lot. And you can see immediately, if you were to send 50 DMs today for the next week, I would probably guarantee you're not going to book 14 meetings. What this tells us is these numbers are high. So let's just assume you got 30% of these results. All right. Okay. So you booked 4 calls in 1 week. Pretty decent. Then out of the 4 people that book the call, your show rate is probably going to be anywhere from 50 to 70%. For a lot of people, it's as low as 50%. All right. So 2 people showed up to your calls. That means you have 2 opportunities to sell. Now, I'm assuming you don't have sales experience. I'm assuming you're not very good at sales. It's not something you're very comfortable with. So your close rate is going to be lower than my close rate or somebody that has done sales for a long time. So we're going to assume that you close 20%, meaning 1 out of every 5 or 2 out of every 10 calls you take, which is still good. But someone who's done this for a long time will probably close 30, 40%. What does that mean? That means you close 1 in every 5 calls. Well, you have 2 calls a week that show. So that's 8 people a month that you can actually sell to. With a 20% close rate, you're going to close between 1 and 2 deals. Not bad. 1 to 2 new clients a month. Happy days. But this is assuming that you've got good response rates and you've got good close rate and you've also got a good ability to take somebody from response to actually booking the call. You can see how immediately, if your messages aren't very good, you won't get results, right? You will only sign clients if you were to push way more volume. So if we go from 50 DMs a day to 500 DMs a day, that's a 10x increase. All right, a 10x increase. Assuming all of our numbers are the same, we close the same amount, we book the same amount show, you are now going to close 10 to 20 clients per month. Don't you see how crazy that difference is? And here's the thing. You see, as you do more volume, you get data faster. For example, I'm testing a new script. I send 50 a day for a week. I've sent 350 messages. And then I decide if the script is good, if it's bad, if I need to change it. However, if I'm sending 500 DMs a day, I can probably test that script for 2 days, for 3 days. I've gotten 1,000 to 1,500 points of data that I can look at, and I can do it in half the time. So now I've got double, triple the data. I can make better decisions and I can do it faster. So the chances are you won't see a 10x increase in results. You'll actually see a 10, 15, 20x increase because of the fact that you'll be able to iterate, make changes faster, better, with more data, and they're more clear. So at the start of this video, I mentioned that I would send 500 DMs a day without doing anything. I would not send any of those DMs myself. So you're going to do this through 2 routes: appointment setters or virtual assistants. Pretty much the same thing, slight difference. Appointment setter, you're typically going to pay like a base salary and then commission. So really their main goal is to get you deals, because the base salary is fine. It's enough for them to put aside the time to do the outreach every day. But the commission is where they make money. A VA is typically just hourly or monthly base. Okay. So they don't really have any incentive to tweak the script, to go off script. No, they just get paid to send the messages. An appointment setter makes way more sense for nearly everybody. Look, if you hire an appointment setter and you sign 10 clients, you will make less money, right? You will pay them more because you're going to give them a good commission. If you were to hire a VA, you'd make more money, right? Because they would pretty much cost you less. But here's the thing, because the appointment setter has commission and is incentivized, when a VA gets you 10 clients with the same effort, an appointment setter will typically go ahead and get you more, 12, 15 clients. So I've run the numbers in so many scenarios. Appointment setter always makes sense. If you want us to place an appointment setter in your business, you can reach out to me. It is a service we offer. So if you follow this approach, this is what your day-to-day looks like. You should ideally have a weekly call with your setters. Okay. So quick check-in, review progress, etc. You need to make sure that they have an outreach tracker. This is something we give to all of our students. It's essentially a fancy spreadsheet where they can track every day how many messages they sent, responses they got, scene rates, any other notes. And this will pretty much just allow you to see exactly what they're doing, but also to make changes to your script faster. So really, you just sit back. Like you sit back, you watch them do it. Of course, if you have tips for them, you give it to them. But really, your main goal now is to close the deals. And I know you've probably seen other people talk about how you can send Instagram DMs, LinkedIn DMs automated, right? With a tool, with a software, with a Google Chrome extension. Let me just tell you this. Instagram and LinkedIn fucking hate those things. So yeah, you could try and use that. It might work for a couple of days. 9 times out of 10, you'll get your account banned, and you might even get an Instagram IP ban, meaning Instagram will literally ban your IP address. You're never allowed to create an Instagram account again. Plus, people know when they're speaking to a bot. They can tell from the responses. So look, my friend, this is how you do it. You need volume. Cold outreach works. It's not dead. It still signs clients for our students. There's typically only 3 problems. Volume, you're not doing enough of it. Your script is just boring as hell. 3, you're not following up. Before we can look at follow-ups, before we can look at fixing your script, gotta do volume. So if you do anything today, put a plan in place, write down exactly how you're going to implement this yourself. If you'd like my help, reach out to me on Instagram. We'll see you in the next one.